Examines the American Civil War. It is A House Divided.
A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts.
Moving like a plague of locusts, the Union Army of William Tecumseh Sherman chewed its way across Georgia and then South Carolina in an early form of total war designed to degrade the Confederacy's will to fight. Part of the army was organized into groups of ill-disciplined scroungers known as bummers. They ranged over the landscape, robbing and pillaging. Primarily intended to feed the Union Army, they also tended to take whatever they could lay their hands on. While Sherman's tactics earned for him generations of Southern enmity, there is some evidence that this scorched earth strategy helped shorten the war. One important indication of this was Confederate desertion rates. Rebel soldiers had concluded perhaps much sooner than their leaders that Southern independence and its defense of slavery was a lost cause. Why risk personal mutilation or even death fighting in armies destined for rout when their families needed them at home? Sherman's total war approach did not defeat the Confederacy, but it surely contributed to the collapse of morale and, as he predicted, the will to fight. Diarist Mary Boykin Chestnut wrote, "Since Atlanta, I have felt as if all were dead within me forever. We are going to be wiped off the earth." At the University of Richmond School of Professional and Continuing Studies, this is Dan Roberts.
Dan Roberts' book, Master American History in 1 Minute a Day, a bite-sized romp through 500 years of American history, is available everywhere books are sold. A Moment in Time with Dan Roberts is produced at the University of Richmond with the cooperation of WCVE Public Radio. Our theme music is composed by BJ Liederman. Our sound engineer is Robert Richards. Transcripts, podcasts, audio, and video are available at amomentintime.com.
It's Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and look who is back from his well-deserved summer vacation from the airwaves here at KSJE. Ron Price is here, live and in person, on tape, as we say this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. Do I look tanned and refreshed from my summer break?
You kind of do, actually. Yeah. So I hope you had, a good time.
I've been outside playing pickleball.
Good for you.
This summer.
That's
and
quite
did a little bit of traveling and
quite the trendy activity, I understand.
Oh man, it is that indeed. We should do a whole program on pickleball someday.
We could indeed. But anyway, hopefully absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Since you were gone for a while.
The rest of that is fonder for somebody else.
Oh,
but that's, yeah, we don't have to go
We only
there.
use the good parts. That's true.
Right.
But anyway, welcome back.
Thank you.
Congratulations. This is our 1-year anniversary Life in the Sandbox segments on KSJE. How about that?
Who'd have thunk it, huh?
Right? Well, yeah. I knew.
Well,
when I asked you. And when you agreed to come back, I'm like, well, that will give us a year. So
that's right.
That's awesome. Anyway, so today we are getting back into it, and we are talking about something that we also kind of briefly mentioned, I believe, last spring when we were together, right?
Sometime previously.
All right.
But, and before we go there, Scott, let's do a little backup since it is a new year and new listeners,
season,
perhaps.
Yes.
The Sandbox is an illustration of life. There's another word. What's another word for illustration? An analogy for life, if you will.
Right. Sure.
We got to learn to get along, and that's tricky at times because we're all imperfect human beings. And imperfect human beings bumping into other imperfect human beings, there's going to be dust-ups at times, differences of opinion, squabbles, all sorts of words we could throw in there, but relationships are never perfect. They just aren't. And some people expect them to be, and then when there are flare-ups, they go, oh, I'm with the wrong person, or I'm working at the wrong place, or, what have you.
True.
It's far better to learn how to manage relationships in the good times and the strained, difficult times. And so that's what I want to talk about today. What do you do when you're upset with someone, again, that you live with, that you work with, a sibling, parent-child relationship? They're doing something that you don't like, something that's bothering you for whatever reason.
Okay, right.
Well, first off, you got to decide, is this worth bringing up?
Right.
Can I overlook it? If the answer is yes, then overlook it.
Is this the hill I want to die on?
Is it a hill
what
that
I
I want
hear.
to die on?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And many times it's not. Sometimes it is. So one thing to keep in mind, one point to keep in mind, I should say, is it's fair game to attack the problem, the behavior, the issue. Don't attack the person. Because once you attack the person, they're going to get defensive. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to attack back, and the battle rages. So focus on attacking the issue, the behavior, the concern that's troubling you, not the person. So what we talked about the last time previously was the XYZ technique. When you do X in situation Y, I feel Z. When you show up late for the staff meeting, when you showed up late for the staff meeting this morning, I felt like you didn't respect the rest of us who have schedules to keep to. When you did X in situation Y, and the Y is just for specificity, that time, that place, the specific behavior that you're addressing, I feel Z. I feel disappointed, I feel frustrated, I feel disrespected. I mean, you can say, you know what, when you don't show up for the meeting, you're just being a jerk. Well, good luck with that.
Right.
You're probably not going to get a very positive response back.
Sure.
But attack the behavior and as specifically as possible, and let the person know the impact it's having on you. You know, when you do that, I feel this way. And you may have to search for the word that best captures your emotion. But again, let the person know, because you care about them, you care about the relationship. And if the behavior continues, the relationship might be in jeopardy. It might be in some danger, and it might end, and that's not what you want to see happen. Be sure you communicate that. You've got to let the person know this is not about beating them up or, you know, taking them to the woodshed, whatever. It's saying, hey, something's going on here that's concerning me. I'd like to bring it to your attention. So another way to do that is say, you know, on the one hand, thus and such. On the other hand, this and that. On the one hand, I really appreciate working here with you, living with you. I appreciate, on the one hand, you state a positive, something you value about the relationship. But then comes the hammer. on the other hand,
another hand. Yeah.
You're a jerk. No. On the other hand, I'm concerned about.
Okay.
And again, notice I said I'm concerned about. Watch out for you statements. On the other hand, you're a slob, or you're inconsiderate.
Don't do that.
Don't
say that.
Don't do that. I'm concerned when I see, or when it seems to me. So it's kind of like the sandwich approach. You start with something good, then you give the negative, and then you end with something good. It's just a little different. And actually use the gestures. On the one hand, I really value your contributions, and as specific as you can make those.
Right.
On the other hand, I see this flaw that I would hope you'd address in some form or fashion.
Okay. All right.
I challenge you to try it. I think you'll like it.
That makes sense, Ron Price. And I wanted to go back to the XYZ, because I think the why is maybe important, but of pointing out a specific instance, right, that you're talking about. It's not like you're always late, or I've noticed that you're always late. But if you can say, when you were late to the meeting yesterday, that's a specific example, and so it maybe helps to maybe define what we're talking about.
That's perfect, Scott. If you just give a vague complaint, complaint's not the word, if you state a vague concern, how did they respond to that? So you're right, as specific as possible, so there's no doubt that you both agree on what you're talking about. How does that make you feel?
Right.
Good clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron Price, he is here with me now for our second season, every Wednesday at this time on KSJE Farmington. San Juan Regional Medical Center is your community hospital, committed to making life better for the communities we are privileged to serve. In fact, better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. What matters most to our patients matters most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. The San Juan County Walk to End Alzheimer's,